Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today it is all about discipline, yoga and discipline. What do the two have in common? Why do we need the one and the other? My name is Nina Sachs. I am a yoga teacher. I am a yoga health coach as well. And I have been teaching for over 20 years. I'm originally from South Africa, now living in Mozambique and transitioning online, which is a lot of fun. And there are a lot of topics that everyone or people have been messaging me about, and things that I also just find interesting. And one of the things that I find super interesting is this idea of discipline. And how does discipline in yoga, how do the two match? And why do we need discipline in yoga? So let's delve into this concept today. Remember to like, subscribe, do all those funky things to help me grow my channel, and remember to share with those who you think this might be helpful. So in Ayurveda, we often talk about the gunas, the opposite. So you've got like hot and cold, and light and heavy, and oily and dry. And the same is kind of like with discipline. You kind of like have this idea of discipline and this idea of freedom, which we often call moksha in Sanskrit, this idea of freedom and what freedom looks like to you. And when it comes to yoga and our yoga practice, it's really important to understand, like, well, what do you want freedom of? What do you want more freedom? Is it freedom-based lifestyle? Is it that you want health freedom? Is it that you want financial freedom? Is it that you want physical freedom of a certain ailment or an ache? Like, what do you want to be free of? Because if you don't know what you want to be free of, what you want to have freedom of, then you actually don't know what you need to do. Then you don't know what you need to be disciplined enough about doing. So say you, for example, my situation is I had terrible SI joint problems, sacroiliac instability. And it had plagued me for over 10 years. And anytime I would do an asymmetrical yoga posture, I would be in agony the next day. And it used to frustrate me because there are so many beautiful yoga postures that are asymmetrical. A lot of yoga classes spend a lot of time doing asymmetrical work on one side and then the other. And whenever I would do something like a warrior number one or a triangle, my whole SI joint would go out and I would be in pain. And so even though I was doing yoga practice and I was having the discipline of showing up on my mat, I wasn't doing the right practice for what my body needed. I wasn't able to get free of that SI joint problem and issue. So when I took a moment and thought about, okay, well, what do I want to be free of? Okay, I want to be free of this pain in my sacrum. What do I need to do? Okay, I need to now have the discipline to, first of all, find a person who can help me, a yoga teacher who can help me. And this is where I started delving into the work of Donna Farhi, who's amazing. And if you haven't come across her and you do have any of these issues, you definitely want to do some research there. And then I started adjusting my practice and having the discipline to do the postures, the practices that I needed to do to stabilize my sacrum again, my sacroiliac joint again. And that meant spending a lot of time in what she calls like constructive rest. I spent a lot of time in strengthening the muscles around the abdominals, the leg muscles. And within a couple of months, I had sacroiliac joint stability. That was freedom to me because now I could walk. I could go to a yoga class and not feel this pain the next day. I may have had a twinge and I realized, I would push myself a little bit too far. I took myself too far in the posture. My body was not ready for that. And then I would go back to my practice. I'd have the discipline to go back to my practice. So we need to have the discipline to do something so that we are ensured a sense of freedom. And so you need to figure out what that is for you in your yoga practice. Do you want to have the freedom of like not having tight hamstrings? Do you want to have the freedom of having spinal stability? Do you want to have freedom of a shoulder pain or neck challenges, struggles? Can't find my words this morning. And that is after my walk. Do you want to be free of like eye pain, sinus issues? So what is the discipline that you now need to take every single day to ensure that you have that freedom. And that is in all aspects of our life. If you want health freedom, you need to have the discipline to eat the right foods. If you want to have body freedom, you need to have the discipline to show up on your yoga mat every day. If you want to have financial freedom, you need to know how to save and to invest in the right things so that you can have that financial freedom in future. If you want to what else? I'm just trying to think. I did actually write a whole list here. If you want to have mental freedom of like that negative chatter, you need to start today with having the discipline of putting positive thoughts in your head, getting onto your mat and meditating and changing the stories. You need to have that discipline so that you can have the positivity. So discipline in yoga is key. The sutras of Patanjali, they talk about discipline and not to have the discipline to show up and sit on your mat, because that's what's going to change life. But you need to know what you need to do specifically. What I needed to do 10 years ago is very different to what I'm needing to do now. But I still need to have discipline. And so the question is, what do you need to have discipline to do right now? And I invite you to pop that in the chat below. It'll be a lot of fun to see what everyone has to have discipline. I have dedicated myself to showing up every day for 90 days to share my thoughts and experiences. I need discipline to do that. What do you need discipline? Pop that in the chat. Remember, if you need a little bit of a reset, I have a free training on how you can set up your own 7-day seasonal reset. Go get that. Have the discipline to watch it. Have the discipline to set up a 7-day seasonal reset for you. And we need a little bit of support and a little bit of help. We do have a community as well, which you can then look at if that's something for you. But have the discipline to start making the right changes for yourself. That's what I'm going to leave you with today. Have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday, and I'll catch you sometime soon. Bye.